If Ramadan is done properly, everybody's not at the same place. Let me say this. There are some people, they haven't touched the Quran in a year. They haven't. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, he said that, like this is a sin. If a whole year goes by and a person hasn't read a portion of the Quran, they're sinful. All right, this was his fatwa. This was his opinion. All right. So if somebody has that situation, when Ramadan comes, they should commit. I'm just going to read one line. Right? I'm just every day, minimally. I didn't do anything for the year. I'm going to read one line and then watch the barakah that comes from that. If they're used to reading Quran, okay, read a couple of pages more than you're used to doing. But beware of the nafs. This is the month of also be careful of the nafs, the lower self, because the lower self, it goes to extremes. Always. It's never balanced. Islam is all about bringing the nafs into balance. Everything about this deen is about bringing the lower self into balance. On one hand, the nafs is going to tell you to go to extremes. I'm going to read the whole Quran today. You didn't read it for a year, you're going to read the whole thing today? Really? This is the nafs talking. All right? Or the nafs will say, do so little that what you do doesn't even matter. See? So what you're doing, it should cause some tension, right? There should be some, you should feel some, I have to push myself a little bit. I have to push myself a little bit, all right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in reality what this month is all about, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, He starts off by saying, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum as-siyama, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, la'allakum tattaqun. Fasting has been prescribed for you. O you who believe, fasting is obligatory for you. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam. It's obligatory for you. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. In the same way that it was obligatory for those who came before you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you why. What is the goal? What are you supposed to get out of it? La'allakum. Perhaps. Tattaqun. You will reach this state of taqwa. Right? What is taqwa? What is taqwa? Somebody tell me, what is taqwa? God consciousness. What else? There's a lot of translations out there. What are some of the other translations? Fear. Fear, yes. You know how I like to translate it? Fear of offending Allah. Right? Because if you just tell somebody, oh, fear Allah. Actually, taqwa is more than that. It's much more than that. Right? Because fear will drive you to despair. You just be, I just can't do it. You know what I mean? If I'm going to the hellfire, I'm just going to the hellfire. I just can't, it will drive a person to despair. But like you said, if it's accompanied by love, then the person, they'll be afraid of offending Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Allah saying what He wants from us during Ramadan. So now the question is, how do we do that? That's the question. All right? Taqwa is the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. The first principle of taqwa is tazkiyah. And the first step towards tazkiyah, spiritual purification, is tawba. Right? So when this month comes, the first thing that you're actually after is forgiveness. This is the first thing that you're after. Okay? This is the first thing. Ya Allah, I have been ghafil. I have been heedless for a year, Ya Allah. And if you take an honest assessment of yourself, you know you haven't been doing all that you can do. You know you haven't been doing all that you can do. Take an honest assessment of yourself and say, Rabbi ghfirli. Ya Allah, forgive me. I have wronged myself. I've cheated myself. Forgive me. So this is the first thing that we're after. You understand? I'm trying to lay it out for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be muttaqun, people of taqwa. All right? And taqwa is the first principle to spiritual purification. It is the first thing that you need to become spiritually pure. You have to be mindful of Allah. But the first step that the ulama tell you that you have to take when you decide to purify yourself spiritually, you have to make tawba. You turn back to Allah. You're turning back to Allah. And even if you didn't commit major sins, because mostly tawbah is for erasing major sins. But even if you didn't commit any major sins that you know of, still no one can say, oh, I haven't been heedless. No one can say that. We've all been heedless. We've all been forgetful about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've all let our nafs get in front of us, our nafs run away with us. We all have done that. And tawbah fixes that also. All right? So this is the first thing, tawbah, turning back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.